It's the boy, Bubba Lutz, coming through. Hella clutch, flawless, can't be touched. It's your boy, Bubba Lutz. Yeah, I need that hot take. I need the truth and everything that is not fake. So tell me who's
Welcome back, Bubba Bunch, to another edition of the Bubba Lutz Sports Podcast. It is episode 261, and yes, things look a little bit different in my background.
Just a tad.
Just a little bit. You know what? From this angle, it looks huge. If people are just listening to this and not watching this, that was very out of context. What I'm trying to say is that this new room, where the new apartment where we're living at, looks really open.
Oh.
And, compared to the last room, that was just kind of compact with a lot of... I mean, the bed took up most of that room, but also the other stuff like PC, desk, setup, whatever. This feels, just the way that it's formatted, feels a lot more open. And I like it. This is the first episode with this setup, and I was thinking about putting it in the other corner, but I like this. I think once we fill in the wall a little bit more, and then we get the little, logo on the TV there, it might be doing all right.
We'd like that. I mean, yeah, I feel like what's the saying? Once the room looks a little more homey, it'll be better,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I got the homie Byron Jones right behind me.
The homie, yeah.
Just
like
you'll
that.
love him, and then I'll eventually get this situated a little bit more.
Yeah,
with all the nice little decorations. But here we are, 261. That's why we haven't had episodes. That's why you haven't seen me on the YouTube. But we finally settled into the new apartment. Moving process was a little bit of a bitch. We'll say that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some French for you, but here we are, and I'm excited to be back. We've done some really great things over the last couple of days. First of all, you're looking at the Not Best Buy League fantasy football champion.
Oh wow.
In the flesh.
I did see that. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It's not about the money. It's really not about the money.
No. It's about pride.
Damn right.
It's about championships. It's about doing your best to guarantee the W. Hey, how much you win though?
A nice cool 120.
Oh, that's pretty. Hey, man, 120 is 120. All right, 120 is 120. I'll take that.
It's a nice little payday, just on my day off. But
very nice.
Jonathan Taylor only gets me 10 points. I had Damian Harris on the bench.
Oh,
but your boy Joe Burrow saves the day.
Joe Shiesty.
With almost a 500 burger to put on the Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens.
That was, the Bengals swept the Ravens for the first time in a decade?
Not only did they did they get the sweep?
Yeah.
We're close to 100 points combined out of those two games.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have come at a better time, because also I'd like to give a thanks, the only time I'm ever going to give thanks, to the Houston Texans, because my mans who I went against played the Chargers defense. Guess who put in a waiver earlier that week to get the Chargers defense, because they're like, they're playing the Houston Texans.
The Texans, yeah.
And the fantasy football god said, no, waiver order goes in favor of your opponent. He starts them. I start the Bengals. Only get 1 point out of them, but it's better than -5 points. Suck it. I need a water.
Well, Joe Shiesty really did come up clutch.
God,
you know what? And every single time Joe Shiesty wins, it just brings out that swagger in him, right? Like, that dude is just absolutely dripped down from head to toe. I mean, unstoppable. And I think he's a really cool guy, because he even called out the city of Cincinnati. I don't know if you saw that interview.
Did you see the gift that his teammates got him? Which is even better.
No, I saw that he gave his teammates custom G-Shock or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't see his gift.
So in the wake of him saying, look, there's not much to do in Cincinnati, that's why we don't really have much COVID going on as far as the cases go. I mean, considering how bad it is around the NFL right now, like they have almost doubled the amount of cases they've had in COVID this year than they did all of last season.
Yeah,
that's
and
insane.
Like in
to
1
me.
month too. That's crazy.
I know, it just like broke out completely. So for him saying that, which I thought was a joke at first, I thought someone was just making up a quote, but it turns out it was true. The teammates of Joe Burrow decided to get him a book of things to do around Cincinnati.
My God.
And there's a picture of him picking it up, laughing. I thought that was just
good.
That was just a nice little jab at him. But look, the Bengals aren't winning shit. Okay.
No, they're not.
But
you know what? It's okay. It's okay. You know, Joe Shiesty's winning. That's all that matters. Every sprinkle a little win every now and then.
It's fun. How about we get him a offensive line though? I think I want to enjoy his life more than a year. And
you know, that's a good idea. I think that's a really good idea. And also, last thing before we move on, Joe Shiesty, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon out of nowhere finally this season. Yeah, they all just saved Zach Taylor's job. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Yeah. So let's move on before we ramble for so long.
Yes. Okay. So fantasy football champion. You know, just throwing that out there.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then what was the other thing that happened? And I completely blanked. By the way, Spider-Man was really good.
I cried.
Yes, so did I.
I walked out shaking, and I eventually passed away. So this is not the regular Kevin that you should be accustomed to talking to. This is his ghostly apparition. So you're talking to a ghost right now.
So basically, what you're saying is that your physical body is there, but
yes,
the real version of you is far from home.
Hey man, so how about them Cowboys?
Cowboys, right?
How about them Cowboys? Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot to dive into this.
You know what there is? There is. It's I don't know if you follow ESPN on Instagram and on Twitter, but they do this thing. I don't know if it's like Bill Barnwell or something else. I don't know who it was, but they do this thing called like Overreaction Monday or like Overreaction Tuesday or something like that. Right?
Or is it the Overreaction Monday or is it this is not an overreaction?
I think it's that one.
Because if I saw the same one you did, I thought it was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
I saw it, and like for this Tuesday this is not an overreaction. Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl, and I was like, okay, guys, like relax.
Someone else says that. Who said that? It might have been. Oh, someone said it to where I think it was Michael Irvin. Of course, it was Michael Irvin.
Oh, of course, it's Michael Irvin.
But he was like, you'd be stupid to say that the Cowboys are not the Super Bowl favorite to come out of the NFC East. I was like,
okay,
slow
playmaker,
the fucking down.
Relax.
But to be fair, after that 56 burger we put on the Washington football team, I was like, the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
you know, here's the thing though, and I guess this is where we can like dive into like analyzing the game. Look, there's a lot of good that can be said about this game, right? I think one of the first things in general is that our offense finally clicked for the first time in close to a month. I know that's not much to say against a Washington team that has so many players on the COVID list and they're coming back, and you know all the jokes of like, oh, like Washington practice squad, you know, whatever. But I think in general though, like it has a lot to say because I think we could both agree that the Giants are a worse team than Washington. And we only put up 21 against the Giants. Yes. And our offense looked bad against the Giants. Then the week before that, you know, we played Washington again, and we did not put up as many points.
Well, choked the entire game.
Exactly. And then before that, you know, we played who did we play? We played oh my God, I'm blanking. Who do we play again? Who did we play before Washington?
Before Washington?
For Washington, we played. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking. I'm blanking really bad. We played Wow, I can't believe I'm blanking like that. That's
Listen,
actually very embarrassing.
kind of tired, so don't look at me.
Yeah. Here, ESPN app is a great resource, right? Great resource.
Bubba Lutz Sports Podcast, sponsored by
E-
ESPN app.
ESPN app. Oh, I'm so stupid. The Saints. My goodness, I could
Oh.
not remember the Saints for the life of me.
That's why I would want to forget that game.
Yeah,
In
so-
all totality, because that was one of the worst games I've ever seen.
So I think we could both agree that that game offensively was one of the worst showcases of the season.
That just in general was bad.
Like that 27 points was not the offense. Like 14 of them came from the defense. I mean, in reality, we would have lost that game if it weren't for the defense. So
100%.
To not drag this on even more, I think it's very nice to see that our offense finally clicked after a month of just absolute horrible play. It's also very encouraging to see how absolutely dominant the defense looked. The defense has been playing really, really great the last month. They've been shining. Everybody's been coming up to play. But this was just like, those like you know that movie scene where it's in every single cliche family movie where like you have like a little brother, like breaking a vase or something like that, and the mom comes over there, puts him on her knee, and just pop pop pop. That's what we did to Washington. That's what we did to Washington.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We literally spanked them into an L.
Well, I think their bottoms were already warm because of the benches that they brought over from Washington.
Oh, you're right. Oh, and also, didn't they want Dallas specifically?
Multiple times they did say that.
They wanted Dallas. I guess they got it.
I mean, things got pretty heated on the benches, not just because of the benches, but because of Jonathan Allen and Daron
Payne. Look, I think in general people are blowing this way out of proportion. They're football players.
It's gonna happen, right?
It's gonna happen. However, that does look really bad.
Listen,
in the middle of a game,
they were teammates at Alabama. And they've been on this team for quite a while now. They're probably best buds, right? Like, I mean, they're right next to each other. On the field, off the field.
Of course.
That was a strong punch thrown.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a grown man's punch.
If Jonathan Allen would have landed that punch, whoa, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, didn't he have like a cast on there too? Like one of those heavy set ones that they wrapped the entire... Because that didn't look like just his basic fist. That looked like it was wrapped up pretty well. I
couldn't say yes or no, I don't remember.
Look, I think we need to get Joe Rogan onto this, because that was a pretty good left hook. Yeah. That was sent. And if it would have landed pretty quick. Hey, not doubting his reflexes. He's a tremendous athlete. That film looked better than what they put on the field.
Oh, they look so bad.
Dude,
man, they look so bad.
They scored more points in the first quarter of that game than the entirety of last week's game.
Well, than the entirety of the last month. What do you mean?
Oh, I mean, yeah. But it looks so flawless. It flowed like a faucet, that offense.
The way the offense was looking this game was how it looked like in the beginning of the season.
Yes.
Kellen Moore just coming up with these plays, easy 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, instant chunk plays, and it looked so great to see finally after so long. And I think the one thing that we can all be happy about, and it's been a center of controversy, is that the whole Dak on a slump, Dak didn't look on a slump that night. He did not.
No.
He looked really good.
And they did mention his mechanics as far as how he's posturing up and focusing more on his back foot.
He's keeping his back foot down.
Keeping it down, not really, unless it's a deep throw. There was one throw down the field, and I forget who it was. It might have been Michael Gallup. But he lifted that foot, and it was a little bit off. But overall, just trying to keep his feet under him. But I think this really solidifies that it was a mental thing for Dak.
Yeah.
Because it's yes, the mechanics and his footwork, that's basic fundamentals. That doesn't really just come about because of you have an injury to your calf or because you had the ankle injury. I think that's just getting back to the basic fundamentals. Stop overthinking everything, and under pressure, how are you going to react? And in this game, it's what he's been doing all year long, and really what he's been doing for the last few years is that under pressure, he's very composed. But not only that, he is now comfortable with himself again to run the football. Every time he escaped the pocket and gained maybe 5 or 6 yards on a run, I felt like that was the old Dak. That was a Dak that's like, okay, if I don't see what I like down the field, all right, let me just run it. Like, I'm not going to try to go for the touchdown. I'm not trying to be Zach Wilson out here. I'm just trying to put my team in a better position and getting back to fundamentals. Allow us to have an extra down to play, and we will get it done because we've had success all drive long. I'm not just going to sacrifice myself in order to get a first down. No, I'm going to do the smart play here. If I can't do it down the field, I'm going to do it with my legs, and I'm not trying to cut. I'm not trying to juke anybody out because that's what he was doing earlier in the year, and he didn't trust that ankle. For sure, he didn't trust that ankle. But now it's just basic running, like, okay, I see an opening, I'm going to run. And that's what I love about Dak, is that he went back to it, and it wasn't flashy at all. Like, we still didn't have a lot of big plays down the field, but it's a good starting point to get back into form. Dak, that offensive line with Connor Williams back in the lineup, I think that was really nice to see, and getting Amari Cooper involved. Him and Dalton Schultz. Those are two guys that you really want to just get involved. It doesn't matter how many yards they end up with at the end of the game. It's just a matter of, like, did we do our best to get everybody in this? Try to contribute.
You led right into the point that I was going to make. Earlier in the week, I read a report from a Cowboys beat reporter. I don't remember if it was Marcus Mosher or another one of them. But he had a report stating that earlier in the week, Dak and the wide receiver room and the tight end room and all of them, they all met together and they were like, hey, look, like, we need to get this. We need to get the shit back on the road. We need to get it figured out because this is ridiculous. You know, like, Cowboys are literally known for how many key weapons on their offense, and it has not looked like that at all in the last month and a half. Well, ever since the bye, let's be real, right? So, you know, apparently that meeting worked because Dak was throwing to CD, Dak was throwing to Amari, Dak was throwing to Michael, to Cedric, to Dalton, to Zeke, to everybody. Even Malik Turner had that crazy run. My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody got fed in this game. So I feel like that reconnection with the wide receiver room and the tight end room, and even Zeke and Pollard, obviously, you know, it's really nice to see that whatever they talked about, whatever they worked on in practice was translated to the field, because everybody got a little, right? Everybody got a little. And I don't know if you remember hearing, but Chris Collinsworth and Al Michael were talking about how Amari Cooper has been complaining recently, you know, that he's not getting the ball, he's not getting a lot of plays. Look, personally, I'm very hit or miss when it comes to receivers complaining. I don't like it. There's a part of me that doesn't like it at all because, you know, receivers complaining. Look, we all know in the NFL, receivers are the biggest divas out there. We all know, right? Amari has never given off that he's been a diva, but, you know, let's not complain. Let's not complain when you know the offense is not, you know, firing all cylinders. But at the same time, to me, it also shows that he wants the ball. He shows heart. He shows that he wants to get back out there. He wants to provide for the team. So, I mean, Amari Cooper looked pretty damn good, didn't he?
Yeah,
Pretty damn good.
And it's hard to kind of judge that line of when you're complaining or trying to put input into this offense, just trying to, like, give a nudge to Kellen Moore.
Like, hey, like,
it's different.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I think we're comparing it to past wide receivers like Odell, like Antonio Brown, like Des Bryant, close to home there. The difference,
like Des, but I hated that about him.
Yeah,
I hated how much you complained.
And we're so fixated on this idea that, like, if a wide receiver opens his mouth about what's not happening and not getting catches, we automatically go to the negative of saying that's a very selfish move. think this is where it's different with Amari Cooper, because Amari Cooper is one of the most unselfish guys in the NFL.
He does. He's never put out that he's that kind of player. So that's why when I was hearing these reports, I was like,
well, here's
he's
the thing.
complaining.
You went back to it though. But... like after you said that, you said it shows heart and it shows that it's what's best for the team. That's why I think Amari Cooper did the right thing of saying, look, I don't feel like I'm involved enough. I know that if I get involved, it's only better for this team. It's not going to be a selfish thing to where he's like, I want to get my own. Well, of course, every player is going to have that, right? Every player is going to have that little bit of like, let me get some of that. I bet you CD is feeling the same way. Like CD hasn't been putting up big numbers as of late. And really, you could say the same about Michael Gallup. Like Michael Gallup has a lot to prove this year. And if he doesn't get his own, he might not earn another contract with Dallas. And if he's going somewhere else, he wants to prove to that other team that he's got something to give out, a lot of potential. For Amari Cooper, it's the same way, but it's also a thing of like, the reason why I'm going to say this is because I know we've been struggling. I think everybody in that room knows that we've been struggling and we can perform better. And when we looked at those previous games, those early games to where Amari Cooper's getting over 10 targets per game, and especially at home where he does really well, it's like, well, why not go back to that? Like, I'm not trying to sound selfish, but I'm saying like the analytics show, the statistics show that if I get involved, it's only better for everybody else, because that opens up CD, that opens up Dalton, that opens up Pollard and Zeke to have running room, not to have a box filled with defenders. It's going to help us more. So even if it's not the bomb downfield, it's more of a 5-yard pass curl route or outside run. You know, it moves the offense forward. And it's like, wow,
at the end of the day, that's all you want.
Exactly. So I think it comes from a very good place when it's Amari Cooper. It's not an Antonio Brown or I don't know, like a fucking Des Bryant. OBJ, yeah. Like if OBJ said the exact same thing, everyone would be like, oh my God, here we go again. Because he's very selfish. Because we saw once he doesn't get the ball, he just thinks of himself and he tries to leave. Amari Cooper's not going to do that. He's just saying, look, I think give it a shot. Like, let's do this. And I promise you it'll work. Because every time that we've given him the ball, it works. So I think it was the right move. And I've been waiting for just a little bit of pissed off, you know? Yeah. Like, remember a few weeks ago, maybe like close to 2 months ago, really, when Dak was like, all right, I'm pissed off now. Like, we're pissed off. And then the next week they went out and put like 20 on the board. And you're like, that's pissed off?
That's not pissed off.
That's not pissed off.
Look, and also too, we also had a really not like big opinion, but like a hot topic saying, you know, that for a while Kellen Moore was like coordinator of the year, like candidate for the next big coaching vacancy. To bro, what are you doing? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, how do you change like that in just 1 week? And now it's like, okay, is this the return? Okay, like he's back. Like now he feels more comfortable. I just think in general it was a really, really big step forward out of this slump that we've had the last month and a half. So our offense is looking good. Real quick before we head over to the defense, because you brought it up. Hey man, so OBJ still making Baker throw all those picks, right? Oh yeah. Look, man, I know you don't like OBJ. I know you don't. But you have to admit, at least partially. Come on. Hey, he's staying quiet. He's putting his head down. He has 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games in LA. While Baker has 8 interceptions in the last 2 games. Come on. Give him some props, man. Come on. At least partially for now. I had to slip it in there. You mentioned it. Come on.
OBJ's doing all right.
Oh, there we go.
You know what? The Warzone celebration, liked it.
That was good.
That was good.
You know, that was good. Look, I'm really happy for OBJ. I've always been a supporter of OBJ. I've always wanted him to do good. His Cleveland years, There was a lot of injury controversy. Is it Baker's fault? Is it OBJ's fault? Is it Kevin Stefanski's fault? I don't know, but it makes me happy to see that over there in LA, Matt Stafford's feeding him. Matt Stafford's feeding him.
I bet if I was behind Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson, I'd probably get a few touchdowns too.
Hey man, that Cooper Kupp guy's pretty good, huh?
Hey,
Pretty good, huh?
Hey, that
He's
Cooper
pretty
Kupp,
good, huh?
the Cooper Kupp guy, pretty good.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Hey, you know who else is really good and apparently can run 50 yards down the field pretty quick? D-Law looks good, man.
You know what? You know
D-Law
what's
looks
funny?
Good.
I was just talking about this with the guys at work. Like, what he's done in 4 games. In just 4 games since he's returned.
Yeah.
It's like defensive player of the year type vibes.
Yeah.
Imagine what this defense would be if he didn't get hurt in that first game and he had Micah, D-Law, and Trevon Diggs all on the field at the same time throughout this amazing winning streak. And even in those rough games, like the defense still showed up. Imagine having D-Law still. Dude.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch a Cowboys team play good on both sides. It's so fun. It honestly gets me emotional, and it just puts a smile on my face knowing that this team can do this. I've never experienced this bliss feeling of like there's games like the 2 decades that I've been a Cowboys fan and that I can recollect, right?
Yeah.
In those 2 decades, you have those 1 out of 5 games where you're like, well, both sides are playing really good today. Well, that's nice to see. The offense is doing better than the defense, but they're complementing each other. It's nice. But on a weekly basis, if I can see this, who's stopping that? And I'm not trying to be an overreaction guy. I know that I'm a Cowboys fan and I'm a bit biased. But how in the hell are you going to stop a team that can score 56 on a terrible team like Washington and get 4 turnovers in the last 3 games? Each time they get 4 turnovers. How, as an offense on the opposing side, are you supposed to function and win a football game with 4 turnovers down in a game? And you have Dak Prescott just holding on to the ball and being protective and making good throws and giving it to Pollard, giving it to Zeke, and giving it to great wide receivers against a great offensive line that still doesn't have Tyron Smith back. Oh my God. Is anybody else feeling this feeling?
It's really nice to see the Cowboys defense finally be good, like actually good every single week. And it's not even just the stars, right? Like it's the big names that are getting all the attention, right? Like Micah, obviously he deserves everything, all the praise he's getting from his D-Law. Now that he's back, he's playing at an astronomical level. Dude ran like a 50-yard, 5 seconds, 6-7 seconds, I don't know. Dude was speeding down the sideline. Trevon Diggs, another pick, leading.
First fucking play.
Yeah, first play, another pick. It's not just them. It's a collective effort that just looks so good. Me and you, biggest supporter of this guy on this podcast, and I don't see his name getting talked enough. Neville Gallimore is a beast.
Stop it.
Beast.
Stop it, Kevin. Oh my God. Thank you.
Neville Gallimore.
Oh my God.
So
I love that man.
Neville Gallimore. Yeah, I love him too. You know what's the thing about Neville Gallimore? I used to be a really big fan of Antoine Woods. You remember that, right?
Yes.
I used to be a really big fan.
Antoine was good.
He unfortunately had a decline. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Everybody goes through that. But then they were like, "Oh, we released him. Bet big boy number 95 coming in.
96.
I'm sorry. Try running up the middle, please. You just can't,
bro.
Dude,
I said it. I goddamn.
He's so good.
I was like, when Osa and guys like Brent Urban Carlos Watkins. These
Yep,
guys are holding up the middle. Maybe they could do a little bit better. That's fine. But Osa's a rookie, and he looks really good. He penetrates the offensive line like really well. It's awesome. Just wait till Neville comes back. Just wait.
Man, he looks so good.
And you said it, man. It's not talked about enough how good this run defense has been since Neville Gallimore has gone back into the starting lineup. And there was doubt. There was doubt by analysts, by reporters that say, like, I don't know if Neville's going to get the starting job back. Bitch, yes, he does.
He does.
That's a
he
grown
does,
man.
and is as a huge grown man. So to have him back, thank God. And look, I'll be the first one to say, because I was completely off of this guy, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't complain the last couple of games, but I'm not saying he's back. I'm not saying he's rookie year back. But I mean, hey, look, Leighton's hasn't been that bad.
Let's bring it back a little bit, okay?
Look. I'm not saying he's 2016 back. I'm not saying he's 2017 back. You know, there's still some players where I'm just like, Leighton, come on, brother. Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
But he's been okay.
You know what?
He's been okay.
Throughout this, like, long stretch of the season, even in those games where they gave Leighton a lot of credit and they said, like, wow, he played well. I was like, I don't know about that. I felt like, genuinely, this is probably the best I've seen Leighton in a very, very long time.
Yeah. I'm genuinely surprised how much better he's been playing these last couple weeks compared to the beginning of the season and to last season. Because I think we could both agree that, you know, unfortunately, Jalen and Leighton were they suffered the same thing, right? First 2 years, absolutely amazing. Sideline to sideline coverage was amazing. And they started declining. Well, Jalen a little more than Leighton, but still, they're both declining. But, hey, I mean, look, complimenting, my goodness, to Micah, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Could be better.
Yeah.
But not bad.
Look,
but not bad.
For as much as we talk about the big names and even those mid-grade names in that defense, we gotta appreciate and we gotta applaud the effort by Kelvin Joseph.
Oh man, he played. Look, I know backup offense, whatever, but
he started. He started because Jordan Lewis, Malik Hooker, both guys were out due to COVID, so he became the starting cornerback behind Brown and Trevon. So he took the start from the very beginning, and he had only a few days to really get it going. This guy's been dealing with kind of being out of shape, coming out of college, his struggles through training camp, never got an opportunity outside of the preseason, and finally getting his opportunity, and not only just like meeting expectation, but playing at such a higher level than what everybody expected because of all those issues that occurred. But I mean, it's not like he went against bums. Like, there are some very talented guys on Washington for the wide receivers. I mean, you obviously have Terry McLaurin. You have De'Ami Brown. Like, they have some depth to that. And even through that, a rookie who, I mean, I'm kind of surprised now that we're thinking about it that Tyler Heineke and Washington didn't really exploit that more than they should have. But, I mean, you got to give credit to him. You got to give credit to guys like Chauncey Golston and Corey Clement for that blocked punt.
That was great.
Because it wasn't just a little tip. It wasn't just a little tip. Corey swatted that thing like he was LeBron. He got there quick, and Chauncey was just like, oh, okay, thank you.
Isn't that like our third block this season?
Can I give you an outstanding fact that makes me just adore this team right now?
It's our third block in a decade.
They have more blocked punts this season than in 18 past years.
Yeah.
Combined.
So John Fossil is what's the term? Reclaiming his notoriety from last year? Because last year it was.
Oh my god!
My god!
I mean, I'd say even during that like winning streak,
there was some questionable
things, man. And I still don't want to fully trust this guy because I feel like he'll do something outrageous later in the year. But I was calling for his head really in week 5, week 6.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it now. I think he's done a really good job. It may have taken some time, but what he's done with this unit, and he took full responsibility saying, look, we're gonna go away from Nice Wander, even though he was a good punter last year for us, and I'm gonna put in this Anger guy. And everyone's like, why? Like, Nice Wander's pretty nice, like pun intended. But Anger is a Pro Bowl punter. Like, as much as that sounds ridiculous, the man punted only a few times on Sunday, but there was that one punt where it literally went 60 yards, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! And it didn't. It just felt like it didn't. It wasn't gonna be a booming kick when it left his foot, but the man just knows where to put it. And John Fossil put all of his trust in that guy, and guess what? It's proven dividends. I'm not gonna put that same confidence in Greg Zuerlein. Definitely not. But right now, that special teams unit is what I've been waiting for such a long time. You know how many times I've said that this special teams unit is garbage and they should be better? They should be better in every aspect, as far as blocking, as far as just getting to the kicker, getting to the punter. They're doing that.
Yeah.
They are now 3 out of 3 units of the entirety of this game. Offense, defense, special teams. The Cowboys have it. When have we ever been able to say that? Ever in our lifetime?
In our lifetime, never. So it's really nice. I guess to move on to the next thing. Offense looking like it's clicking. Defense been clicking. Special teams been clicking. Now let me ask you this. I think right now the way it stands, this next game against Arizona isn't as big as it was a couple weeks ago for obvious reasons.
It's lost its glamour for sure.
However, there's one thing I will say, and I don't care what people say. Look, D-Hop is obviously, as we said on this podcast multiple times, we believe he's probably top 2, if not 1.
Yes.
When it comes to talent, when it comes to, just everything about wide receiver, right? I'm still not sleeping on this team, though. I'm not.
No,
Look, we know, look, Cowboys and the Cardinals have had like a similar thing where, they went on kind of like this weird, like month and a half. It just so happens that the Cowboys are getting off of it now while the Cardinals are getting on it now.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I'm not doubting this team at all. I don't care what people say. AJ Green is coming back into form for the first time in years. He actually looks like a dependable guy. Now he's the number 1. I don't care what people say. Rondale Moore and Christian Kirk, deadly.
Christian Kirk is kryptonite to this Cowboys defense.
Yes.
He always goes off. If it's a Monday night against Dallas, Christian Kirk has 200 yards. Plain and simple.
I don't care what people say. Those two guys could be a deadly combo.
Yeah.
Just because of how fast they are, just their route running, amazing, right? And not even to mention, James Conner looks like 4 years ago James Conner when he was in Pittsburgh still. He looks great. Chase Edmonds is back. Kyler, that's the question mark, right? It looks like the Cardinals are having the same exact thing as the Cowboys. Dak was struggling. Everybody else was suffering around because of it. Now it looks like they solved their problems a little bit. While now the Cardinals, Kyler's struggling bad. Kyler's struggling really, really bad. And now everybody around him is suffering. But on the opposite side, the defense isn't that bad. The defense, they've given up a lot of points these last couple games. Let's be real, losing to the Lions, come on. That's ridiculous.
Well, losing in that way is pretty ridiculous.
Losing in that way is ridiculous. Losing to the Colts, look, you've said it before. The Colts, unfortunately, what happened to them today with Carson Wentz. But look, the Colts were better than their record told them.
Yes.
So I don't put a lot of blame on the Cardinals for that loss because the Colts are streaky right now, right?
Well, yeah, but I think Arizona really beat themselves in that game because there was like a 3-play stretch where it was a penalty every single time.
Absolutely.
And I was like, just snap the ball, please.
So here's the main thing that I think we should go into real quick. This game obviously lost how big it really should be from early in the season, but I think we can both sit here and agree that this game is still very, very big for both teams on both sides. Whoever wins this game, I think honestly has such huge, huge momentum going into the playoffs. Because think about it, right? If Arizona wins this game, this could be their comeback game, right? Oh, like they beat a really good Cowboys team. They're starting to click again. Heading to the playoffs, let's go, right? It looks they're coming back. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know for sure, but I think DeAndre was shut down for the regular season, right?
Yeah, he won't come back until they make the playoffs.
Okay. So DeAndre could be back, right? So that's an elemental piece coming back. But if the Cowboys win, they won last week. This will be their 5th game in a row. They're streaky. They're looking good. Offense figured it out. They could be probably the second hottest team in the NFL right now besides the Packers, right?
Yeah, and it would lock down, not really lock down, but kind of put a lot of focus on them getting the 2nd seed and focus on getting the 1st seed if the Packers lose one of these next games. But to have that 2nd seed is huge because that could also put Arizona on the 4th seed or the 5th seed, excuse me, and the Rams win the division, but they're the 4th seed, so they play each other again in the playoffs. And you want to get one of those teams out.
Right away. Any NFC West team, right away. So here's a big thing. Who has the edge right now?
It's definitely the Cowboys.
Definitely the Cowboys.
Last time they were in this spot was against the Chiefs, and guess how that worked out? So that's the thing, right? Yeah. So for me, this is what I want out of this game. Of course, I want to win. You know, like that's
obviously
obvious. Yeah. What I would like to see in this is that I don't want this offense to go 56 on this Arizona Cardinals defense. That's far beyond my expectation or the reality. They're not scoring 56 against that defense. That defense, I'm going to give them a lot of credit. They've been good this year. They're top 5 in the league. But 28 or more points. That's, for me, not only saying this offense is back, but this offense can do it against some of the best. Because Arizona is not the best defense, but to have that confidence of saying, okay, we did it against the bad teams. We barely did it against the bad teams. We did it 1 week ago. Can we do it again, but against better competition? That's the thing for me. But I am very excited to see what this defense, and especially Micah Parsons versus Kyler Murray.
You read my mind.
Are you going to blitz him? Are you going to rush him completely with every single thing that you got? Or are you going to play contain, keep him in that pocket, and Micah Parsons plays spy? What are you going to do? Dan Quinn, I completely 100% believe in anything that you do with all my strength and all my knowledge. I know you're going to do what's best because Dan Quinn deserves the world. Deserves everything given to him. Make him the owner, make him the GM, make him the president, make him the damn head coach. Dan Quinn should stay in Dallas forever. I'm not exaggerating. That man has done miracles on this defense. I want Micah to get that record. The rookie record for sacks.
Yeah.
He's at 12. He needs 2.5.
No. He's at 13 now.
Is he 13?
Because he had 1 last game.
Okay, so he needs 1.5 more sacks to tie the record. Needs to beat the record. Completely doable.
Yeah.
Completely doable in a game. Can he do it against the little Yoda?
Grogu.
That's Baby Yoda, sir. But can he do it against this just unstoppable, out of pocket runner that is Kyler Murray that can make a play outside the pocket better than he can inside the pocket? And what we'll see with Randy Gregory and D Law on the edges, will they rush him, or are they just going to contain and make sure that he stays in that lane? So that for me is the deciding factor. Kyler Murray decides this entire game. If they can shut down Christian Kirk, great. That means that it limits the amount of chances that Kyler Murray. In that Washington game, there was a lot of coverage sacks.
Yeah, there was.
The Cowboys defense secondary did a really nice job. And it made it easier on the defensive front, which who remembers that being a thing in Dallas, right? Yeah. So for me, I want to see Micah just chase Kyler Murray. I just want to see it for 60 minutes. I just want to see it. I'm really excited for this. Still.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game on both sides. I mean, look, because at the end of the day, like, we're talking all this about the Cowboys, right? But when you go to the Cardinals defense, you know, you still got Budda Baker. You still got Chandler Jones. You still got, you know, you those two guys can make such a world of difference for.
They got
for
Byron.
They got Byron Murphy. That's right. Look, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes like down to the wire because of like how good both these teams are. But unfortunately, I also wouldn't be surprised if, you know, maybe the Cowboys just manhandle them because they're just on a big slump. They're on a big slump. And look, the Cowboys had a slump where they lost to Denver, they lost to Kansas City, right? They lost to Las Vegas. We basically lost to the whole AFC West in that slump, right? But here's the thing, though. At least we didn't lose to Detroit. Ooh,
Like you're 9-1 against the NFC?
9-1 against the NFC.
9-1 or 10-1? I don't know if I saw that before the Washington game.
I think 9-1 now. 9-1 now.
But that's what matters. You beat your conference. You're not gonna see the Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders in the playoffs. You're not.
Exactly. So Arizona, man, they have a pretty big task ahead of them. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I don't care what people say. I'm not counting them out because this team still has so many possible things they can do to influence themselves in this game. So we'll see. Should be good.
Plus the history of like the last few matchups between these two teams have been phenomenal.
Sure.
I mean, it's always like a storyline going into these games, whether it's like can Dak get it going again? Can he lead a team? And then like last year with that Monday night game where they got like completely embarrassed.
The game right after Dak got injured. Yeah.
That was the game with the meme guy. You know, he's crying and then the girl's like trying
the girl's like consoling him. Yeah.
Wow, we've come a long way, haven't we?
Long way. Yeah.
Sir, as we start to wrap up this, unfortunate news right before the recording of this podcast.
Yeah.
But we can't go off without talking about the great life that was John Madden passing away earlier today.
Literal GOAT, 100%.
Created an entire just portion of my childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, literally was the reason why a game took up hours, maybe days of my life.
I mean, don't even say it like that. Just continue what you were saying. Your whole childhood. Let's be real.
He's
Madden
iconic.
Was just a part, yeah.
And you know, for him to pass away a few days after the documentary comes out, which I felt was just really just kind of like, I mean, I'm not gonna do a conspiracy theory or anything, but I'm just like, it's like he had to go like right after that. Like they hyped up this documentary for months, and then just a few days after, it's like, well, you know, he suddenly passes away. You know, it wasn't really a thing that was like concerning with his health or something. Obviously, he was up there in age, but as far as a guy, I mean, he was still, you know, a part of football, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he always will be. I mean, he was one of the great coaches of the 70s. He led these Raiders down a dominant path. You know,
great commentator.
Great commentator. Dude was a GOAT. Monday Night Football with Al Michaels. I mean, John Madden was a really influential face for football. And if you want to think about it in all three aspects, right? During his tenure as the Raiders coach, winning 2 Super Bowls with them, you know, then transferring over to the booth, everybody loved him as a commentator. John Madden, the great head coach with Al Michaels, the GOAT duo, right? And you know his games, I mean, God, like you were saying, I mean, like it was a part of our childhood. Everybody still plays Madden to this day. EA, screw you for messing it up, but you know it is what it is. But you know, in general, he really did influence a big part of the NFL, and I don't know. I mean, I think you could make a bold statement saying that John Madden was the NFL for a long point. He brought a lot of people over. So rest in peace to him. I hope that he I hope he fulfilled as many things as he wanted to in life.
Yeah. Condolences to the Madden family. Prayers to them. thinking about them. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here.
Oh, I don't know about this. Okay.
Favorite Madden?
You know what? I don't even have to think about it. Madden 13.
Madden 13 was Megatron.
Calvin Johnson, yes.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Madden 10 with Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald on the cover.
Ooh,
because
that's a good one.
that was the Christmas that I got my Xbox 360, and that was one of the release games with it, or the
launch games.
The launch games, yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Uh-huh.
And that was the first game I ever played on the Xbox 360, and I loved that game.
That's a good game, man.
Such a good game.
Good game.
You could also do Madden 07 with Sean Alexander on the cover.
Yes, that was. I think that was technically my first Madden.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that I received first, like when I got into it. I got all the other ones later, but yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one for me was Michael Vick, so 2003, 2004?
4? I think it was 4.
Okay, so it was Michael Vick and then Ray Lewis the next year. I remember having those two PS2 games.
Oh, you know what? I just lied to you. I'm sorry. No. 07 was not my first Madden. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about this. No. My first Madden was Madden 03 with Marshall Faulk. Rams Marshall Faulk, might I add. Mm-hmm. That was my first Madden, 03. Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
man.
You know a funny story?
Right
the Sean Alexander one, I played that on the Wii.
Really?
It was different. I mean, it was weird, but I made it work with like the nunchuck.
Yeah. So for me, I played Madden 03, Marshall Faulk, on the GameCube, believe it or not. I played it on the GameCube. I didn't play 04 with Mike Vick. I know it's a prolific one, but I did not play it. I did play 05, but it wasn't the second one that I got. I went from 03 to 07, right? And then I got 07 for the PS2. Oh, my PS2. And then I got 07, 05, and then that's when subsequently I got all of them after that.
Mm-hmm.
But the last Madden I did buy though, I think was 14, the one right after Megatron. I forgot who was on 14.
Was it Sherman?
I think it was Sherman. You're right. Or was that 15?
It might have been 15. Well, 15 they do 2 games technically. It was Madden 25.
Yeah, and then I know that 16 was OBJ, but I stopped after 14 just because EA just, my lord.
Well, I mean, being in the dorms with Eddie, and we played 2K and Madden, and that was the year with Gronk on the cover, I believe. So 17?
Gronk. 17 was it? I don't remember. Anything after 13, it's shady for me. I don't remember.
Oh, it really is.
I don't remember that much. Yeah.
It really is. The less realistic it feels, the better it is for me.
Right. Yeah.
I like that about the old ones for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, John Madden just will always be a part of the game, and I mean, I hope that like
commemorative like sticker, commemorative like everything around
that,
like, stadiums and
like,
all that.
Name a trophy after him or something.
I think John Madden for sure deserves a trophy. I don't know what it would be, but yeah, something has to be for John Madden.
We'll see. I know the NFL will do some things for it this weekend. Probably do it as soon as Thursday. I mean, it's Tuesday right now, so I don't know who's playing on Thursday night. Is there a game on Thursday?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What you truly want to say is
is.
you don't know because you don't care because Thursday night football sucks, right?
You know what? The beginning of the season, Thursday night football was actually great. Really good.
There were some good matchups.
Even the teams that you thought was going to be like a trash game, they played a really good game.
Jacksonville versus Cincinnati was incredible.
That was a banger.
Loved
Absolute banger. It was so good. So good. But other than that, like, yeah, halfway through the season, the games have been pretty meh. Yes.
Mid.
Mid. Yeah.
Last question.
Okay.
Who's the next coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Wow. You know what? That's a rough one. But there's one name that comes to my mind because, in my opinion, he was 100% snubbed last season. I don't know how he did not get a coaching job. I don't know if it might be the right fit. I don't know, but it comes up right away when I think of like the next head coach, Eric Bieniemy. By far, he deserves to be a head coach in this league. I don't know if he would 100% fit in Jacksonville, but I think he does deserve a coaching spot. I don't know if Kellen Moore. Look, Kellen Moore has done great with our offense, but I don't know if he's ready for a head coach job yet.
Yes.
I don't think he's ready. I think he needs a couple more seasons before you can say like, oh yeah, like for sure, like Kellen Moore can be head coach. But Eric Bieniemy has by far proven that he could run a prolific offense. So I think he deserves a chance.
Yeah, but what if he's just terrible at interviews? Like, what you can't tell me that he's not been like the front runner to be a head coach somewhere with all of this genius that is the Chiefs offense, and somehow still doesn't get named in any of this throughout the years.
Yeah, it's a little odd. I don't know.
Because at this point, I'm leaning toward the Chiefs go up to him like, hey, Annie's not going to be here forever. And we got Patrick Mahomes for the next 9 years.
Is it 9 years? Oh, it did start this year.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
So if you just stay a little bit longer, you'll take over. Wouldn't you want to take over for Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
I'd stay there, you know? Like, you want to do what David Culley did and go to Houston? Absolutely the fuck not. Now, here's the thing. Exactly. So, Kellen Moore. I'm okay with Kellen Moore leaving. And I think that there is a strong possibility that he will leave. Does that mean that he's going to Jacksonville? No. Honestly, if he really wants a head coaching job so bad, he's going to go back to college.
Oh,
I think that's the better move for him.
Maybe.
If he says, I want to be a head coach, I'm like, good. Good for you. Do you. You're young. You have a lot to learn. Make your mistakes in college. Do not make them in the NFL. Because if you have one bad year in the NFL, you're going to go back to you're the next Josh McDaniels. You're the next Matt Patricia, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I think Kellen is thinking about leaving. I really think so. And I'm okay with it because as long as we have Dan Quinn, I'm not ready to lose Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's more of an impact type of guy to where if he leaves, that locker room's going to be depleted or deflated, I should say. But if Kellen leaves, they're like, we can get a few. Like every genius offensively is saying, I want to go to Dallas. Just give me the offensive coordinator job. I promise you that we'll have the most prolific offense in all of football. I want an opportunity to work with Dak, with CeeDee, with Amari, with Zeke, that offensive line. I want to work with it. But the defense is different. Dan Quinn, I'm so happy that he said, I didn't come to Dallas to look for the next thing. I've come to Dallas to teach. I've come to Dallas to prove people wrong, that I'm not just a guy that had one good few years in Atlanta. I made the damn Super Bowl. I know that those past few years haven't been great, but I'm here to prove a point, and I'm here to teach guys. I feel really good about where I'm at right now. Love that about Dan Quinn. And if I'm Jerry, I'm saying, hey, Dan, we're going to give you the job at some point. We're going to give you the head coaching job. Just let Mike McCarthy fall asleep at the desk and I'll fire him and then you take the job. Right? Like, I don't want Mike McCarthy to be my head coach. I really don't. Like, I don't care if the Cowboys win the fucking Super Bowl. Dan Quinn should be the head coach of this team. Mike McCarthy doesn't do shit. Doesn't do absolutely shit. He smashes watermelons for a living and eats snacks on the sideline. Like, that's all he does. Okay? Dan Quinn does his job. He does it fucking well. And I'm like, anybody that believes in Dan Quinn as far as a coaching staff, put in Ben fucking McAdoo as your defensive coordinator. I don't care. As long as we keep Dan Quinn. All right? That answers that question. So I think Kellen leaves, but not to Jacksonville.
Okay.
Jacksonville Jaguars next head coach next season. Mark it. Doug Peterson.
You know, at face value, when you first hear it, trash. But
But
when you look at it internally, I mean,
took the year off. He wants to get back
Yeah.
into football. It's
Yeah.
not the worst job, but it's definitely not the best job.
Look, I think to finally end all this off, I think the biggest thing that Jacksonville needs, 100%, 1,000, like, if it's the, like, besides a head coach, besides the defense, besides more weapons, besides everything from right here, this whole thing.
Can I take a guess?
Yes,
Common sense?
yes, but no.
Shit.
Dude, how do you go from Saxonville, Duval in 2016 to where you're at right now? There needs to be a culture change. 1,000%.
Sir. Sir.
Yes, voice of public opinion.
Sir.
Yes.
A culture shock? Don't you think that going up to your kicker and kicking him as hard as you can and saying, why don't you make your fucking field goals, isn't a culture shock enough?
You know what, voice of public opinion? You're right. I forgot.
That's what I would have done. Greg the Leg, how about you make your fucking field goals? We're winning Super Bowls.
You know, you're right. Urban Meyer, I'm sorry. Come back. Come back to Jacksonville. But don't go back to Ohio.
To be fair, Chief, I don't think anyone's going to take him back. Where'd you go? Okay.
I rolled out in dramatic fashion.
Bro, he's not coaching ever.
Dude, he's not going. No. I don't even think the SEC network wants him as an analyst.
Oh my God. He might kick an analyst. He might kick Brady Quinn. I mean,
Brady Quinn? Wow, I have not heard that name in a long time.
Well, before Jacksonville, he was on the analyst desk with Fox and Brady Quinn with that insane jawline. I mean, dear God.
Brady Quinn does have a very, very crimson chin. We'll leave it at that. Crimson chin. Mm-hmm.
Nice little reference to Fairly Odd Parents right there.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents. I misspoke. My apologies. Look, I don't know what Urban Meyer is going to do. I just can't put my finger on it. Sorry. That's going to do it for episode 261 of the Bubba Lutz Sports Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, Kevin. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, thanks, man.
Plenty of stuff to come out this week. I say that all the time, but I promise you that it's true this time. Now that we've got everything situated, hopefully you join us again, Kevin.
Yes, hopefully. We'll see what the end of the year provides for me.
Yes. A happy early New Year to you.
Yes.
Hope you had an
you as
amazing
well,
Christmas. To everybody that listens to this Bubba Lutz Sports Podcast, I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, that you had an amazing Christmas, and Happy New Year's from all of us at this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time on the Bubba Lutz Sports Podcast.
Yeah, hold on. Tell me who's your top 5 quarterbacks right now, dead or alive, huh? And how much do you care about a ring if the best player got carried by the team? Now